everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of the Grumpy Gaming Weekend podcast on the 29th of June. How are we all doing, guys? How are we?
I'm good.
Oh, so good.
We all look so tired. It's great. I'm not even going to pretend that we're not. We're all absolutely exhausted. I have an excuse that I've just started a new job. I don't know what your guys' excuse is. But,
I went to Pride. 4-day bender.
Oh yeah, you've got a good excuse then. What's your excuse, Elliott?
I'm fine. I literally don't know what you're talking about. Like, sure. I feel fine. Wait, no, I have hay fever today, but apart from
Who doesn't have hay fever?
Oh my god, my hay fever this week is killing me.
I don't get hay fever, but there we go. We've all got an excuse. Perfect. We're all here, but we're still here anyway because we're dedicated to bringing you the best gaming podcast on YouTube. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. It's all right. I like it. So, sure. Anyway, moving on. What have we all been doing this week? What have we been doing? Have we been doing anything this week? I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever. Elliott, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
I've been playing Sekiro.
Oh my god.
It's literally to a point where I'm like just fighting.
How have you not finished it?
How can you?
The bosses at the moment are so hard.
I fought a guy called Owl, who, like, story spoiler for anyone that doesn't want to see spoilers, skip ahead like 20 seconds. He's your adopted father and you fight him, and he's the asshole and I hate him. Like, he's the worst. But yeah, I'm still chugging through it. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure you said this about every boss, that this boss is the worst, and oh no, this boss is the worst, and oh no, wait, this one is the worst.
I'm curious how many podcasts you've been talking about this game for.
We need to go back
off with Bloodborne.
How many podcasts did I say I was playing Bloodborne, and how many was I playing Sekiro? I mean, I'm playing games around it. I've been playing Dead Cells. I'm really enjoying Dead Cells.
Talk about that. Yeah, talk about Dead Cells, please.
Dead Cells is a roguelike from a company. Who makes
Dead Cells? Roguelike from a company. Good selling pitch.
It is. Well, no, I started playing Enter the Gungeon because Enter the Gungeon was free on Epic, and you started talking about Epic about Enter the Gungeon last week. So I started playing that. Then I got Dead Cells on the Steam sale, which we'll be talking about a bit later. And I've been playing that, and I like it a lot more. I think the gameplay just makes more sense in my head rather than the top-down having the like side-on 2D platforming where you hit things to death. I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It's very fast-paced, and you do get a bit of a kicking from some enemies, but it's been alright so far.
It's a lot like a lot of these roguelike games. It's very difficult at the start, and then it gets a little bit easier, but then you get to the higher levels, and then it gets really hard again. I know when I played Dead Cells, I got to a point. I've never actually finished it. Like I've never beat the last boss, but I know I got to a point of where I was getting one shot killed, and that was kind of annoying. I found it very difficult to sort of like be motivated to keep on playing when I'm like, well, I know I just get one shot at some point. So
I found a bit where you can just cheese stuff, so I've just been doing that a lot. But that's been my plan so far.
Just cheese things. You turrets and stuff. Is that how you cheese? Or...
Yeah. So like you chuck a turret down, but then there's also like a passive perk that you can get where if you have a turret down, you do more damage. Okay. So then if you have like a bow, which is the same damage type as the turrets, you can literally just go around wrecking stuff. It's pretty good.
Fair.
It works.
There we go. Roguelike tips from Elliott. There we go. We could do that every week.
Cheese everything.
Cheese everything. Cheese in every game. Just cheese everything. Taylor, what about you? What have you been playing this week? I haven't seen you. You haven't been streaming, have you? We've been playing.
Well, I had like a big weekend and then went to Canada's Wonderland, which is like a big theme park, and then got inspired, started playing Planet Coaster.
Nice. So you went to a real theme park and came home and then designed your own theme park.
Well, I got a season's pass to the real theme park, so I'll be going back, but then...
You can go whenever you want.
Yeah.
Does it let you queue hop as well?
That's like $80 extra a day, and I was like, not doing that.
Yeah.
But there's a brand new ride, and it has like a 90-degree like drop, and it's like the tallest ride in the park. I did it. I kept my eyes closed the whole time and kind of regretted it because I waited like an hour and a half in the line, and then you get to the top and it like tips you over the side, lets you look down, and then it drops you down, and then you do like the whole roller coaster. And I closed my eyes for the tippy part and down because I haven't been on a roller coaster in years. Like I used to always go to this theme park.
Isn't it worse with your eyes closed?
I don't know if it's
I'd rather be able to see, I think.
So I did like one ride and I was like, maybe I'm too old to do roller coasters now. I really didn't feel well after. And then I like worked my way up to the biggest one and my friends wanted to go. And I was like, okay. And then I did the whole line and I was like, maybe I just won't do the ride and like just walk through to the other side. And then I was like, I need to stop being a little bitch. And if I barf, I barf. And so I did it, but I just closed my eyes because I think it's the anxiety that's worse. than the actual experience.
The one that you're talking about where it's like a 90-degree drop. Are you in like a shoulder harness one? Like
Yeah, it's over your head
it
because
sounds exactly the same as a ride at Alton Towers. I don't know if you've been there, Elliot. We have a theme park in England called Alton Towers. What's the one that is it Nemesis? The one that like drops down on a vertical?
Oblivion.
Oblivion? Is it Oblivion?
That goes that literally just drops into a hole.
Yeah, it sounds like that. I really like that one. It actually terrifies me. That's why I love it.
I like Saw
because it's
I
like
can't
falling
on
to your
Tower
death.
Thought Parks.
So
but
this
Saw
theme
it goes
park-
back on itself. So you don't go down, you go like round and under, then you go down.
Oh.
And that was horrifying. I loved it.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah. That's the point.
Also, I was like in another ride and like it used to be my favorite ride when I was a kid, and it's all these like claws and it shoots up and down and it has like overhead or over your shoulder restraints, and half of them were broken, like don't use these seats. And then I went in it and my seat was like rocking back and forth like this, like the restraint, and I was like, I'm gonna die.
Sounds safe.
That's the end of the podcast.
Surely, when you see a ride and a lot of the seats are broken, was that not like a red flag? Like maybe I don't want to get on this one.
This is how I'm gonna go, I guess. Like I don't.
She went doing what she
or this is how I'm gonna pay off my student debt.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
True. I mean, I feel like personally, I'd rather have the debt and all of my limbs, though. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I don't know.
If I just lost like just a foot, I think I'd be okay with it.
Just the foot.
Just a foot.
I mean,
I don't need it. Like
you kind of do need it. Like
I wouldn't want to be
They
a
can
foot
give you
shorter,
fake
but just
ones
like
now.
a foot, like the actual limb itself. Do you need a foot?
yeah.
Like,
You know, like, I mean,
prosthetics
you
has
can
gone
st-
pretty well. It's
and
like
people used to
having a
walk
whole
around on
leg off.
pegs and stuff. You're fine.
Exactly.
Cosplay as a pirate.
Especially English
Comic-Con.
people, right?
Oh my
You
god, I
have peg
would.
legs?
Wait, what? We have more peg legs in it. Where are you getting these facts from?
Well, aren't pirates English?
No,
Yeah,
well,
pirate-
some of them, but
They're
like.
cool.
Oh my god. Never mind. I'm gonna tell you that later.
Oh, okay. That's a story for another time. No, pirates were from all over the world. Those they're in the Caribbean, so they were like all different nationalities.
No, I
of
think they
pirates.
pirated in the Caribbean, but like obviously in pirates and movies they all have like Cornish accents, don't they?
Yeah, but
It's
that's
it's
movies,
very similar to a
though.
Scum's accent.
That's not like
I only know two
historically
kinds of
accurate.
pirates.
based on
I know
fact.
English pirates and I know Somali pirates.
Somali
There
pirates
was-
are now.
No, there was all different nationalities of pirates. It wasn't like an English thing. Like, it wasn't like a
Oh,
racist.
There was Chinese.
It wasn't like,
pirates,
"Yar, your accent sounds funny to me, laddie. You're not allowed on the ship." Like, no, like, it was fun.
Actually,
Okay, we're
I'm
really
from
off
China.
topic.
We just
Video
have to
games.
talk like
Video
this.
games.
Last week it was a travel vlog. This week it's Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not even a vlog; it's a podcast, whatever. But yeah, this week it's Pirates of the Caribbean podcast. Let's go. Which is your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean film? Mine is the second one. I'd actually-
Revenge of Salazar.
Oh, really? That's your favorite of all of the Pirates of the
Yeah.
Caribbean?
I like the girl
Really?
from Skins.
Oh, I
Like,
also,
literally,
yeah.
that's the girl from Skins. She's just cute.
I don't even think I know any of them like by name.
Surely you know Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, just like
Wait,
the
none of
first
them are
one,
called
maybe.
are they? The first one's like the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Classic
that
Pearl,
one.
yeah.
Okay, that's my
Okay,
favorite.
Taylor, you can like the Black Pearl best because it's the only one I can remember the name of.
Yeah.
Just gonna put it out there. Go and watch that film because when that film first came out, it was like a really good CGI. Go watch it now. It wasn't.
It's like painful.
Yeah.
I
it's
hated
like-
those.
Have you ever
films.
watched Spy Kids? Because that shit was like transformative as a child, and now
Yeah.
you watch it and you're like, what is happening?
100%. 100%. I loved it as a kid. It was a great film. Like I was like, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spy
So
Kids
I was
really
playing
was the
Planet
best one.
Coaster.
Planet Coaster. That was a big segue, wasn't it? You were playing Planet Coaster.
Yep.
Good game. I enjoy that one. I'm a big fan of Planet Coaster. What have I been playing? I've been playing more Enter the Gungeon. I've been kind of a little bit addicted to that this week because I've owned it since like release and played it for like 2 hours and then never played it again. And for some reason, because it was free on Epic, I was like, oh, I already own that. Maybe I should play it. It's been updated since I last played it, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's just it very much reminds me of Binding of Isaac. It has that same sort of itch where you keep continually progressing. So even if you die, you don't beat the end boss, you're still getting credits towards buying new items and unlocking items which can make future runs easier. So I'm really enjoying that. I also played Bending the Ink Machine, which I'd never played before. I've owned that one for a while as well, and never played it. We played it for Scary Game Thursday last week, and we did a Scary Game Wednesday this week. And yeah, it was interesting. It was I wouldn't say it was like the best horror game I've ever played, I'm going to be honest. And I did have like a few minor frustrations with it. There was a lot of so essentially the game is like, it's a horror game, but it's set in like almost like this like old Disney style cartoon art style from like when they were black and white, and the whole like shtick of the game is that there's this ink machine that somehow has turned everything crazy and made like bad ink demons. I don't really know what went on, if I'm being honest. Like, I played the whole game from start to finish and I don't really know what was going on, but it was okay. It wasn't that scary. A lot of people said it's like a horror game. I was like, it is a horror game, but it wasn't a scary one. And there was
Isn't that the definition of a horror game?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it technically is a horror game. Like, it tries to be a horror game, but it just fails at being scary. So like the big bad, the bendy demon, whatever you want to call him, like he just sort of like when he's coming, like the whole room just starts to go like inky, and you just hide in a locker till he goes away. And even if he sees you and he's running towards you, if you get in a locker, he just stops. He's like, oh, okay, you want a locker.
Maybe he can't work the handles.
Well, he made of ink. Like, he could literally just like seep in. There's like a little letterbox. He could seep. He's made of ink. Of course he can.
I mean, I tuned into like a few bits of, because obviously you tend to play scary games on Thursdays and I work Thursday night, so I can only really catch the start. And I literally kind of said like, oh, like how scary is the game so far? And literally as I said it, this big monster appeared, but he had like comically long arms, and you were creasing yourself, like you were just absolutely like wetting yourself laughing. And I was like, oh, not very scary then.
No. There was like maybe 2 bits that jump scared me, and that was it. The game was just not scary at all. It didn't feel like threatening or like, you know, oppressive or anything. It just, I don't know. But I still liked it. Like, I think the game was overall a positive game. Like, I think it was a good game, just it had some problems. And it's one of those games, though, that has like a really dedicated fan base. Like, there were people coming in the stream that were like, I can tell you exactly how many seconds this game was taken to develop. And I was like, please don't. But like, you know what I mean? There was a lot of people
that's
that
better
really
than Backseat. I'd rather trivia than like some of the people that I've had recently in Sekiro have just been like, here's how you do this. And I'm like, stop. I don't want to know.
Yeah. I mean, I've pretty much just put the no backseat gaming tag on all my streams now. I've just I don't care anymore. I've put it on because I'm at the point now where I'm like, you know, if somebody comes in my stream, they start backseating, I'll give them a warning. I'll be like, please don't backseat. And if they carry on, I just ban them, which I know is really harsh because a lot of these people are like, they actually just like really want to help. I'm just like, it's so frustrating.
But surely, like, after the first warning, and then it's like, I still want to help. And you're like, I told you. Like, go find someone else.
We've spoken about this before, like the thing that really annoys me with backseat gaming. Like, I don't mind sort of like general tips, but with the backseat gaming, like, I really like to figure things out. You know, like half the fun of games is like the puzzles or the where do I go next or whatever. And so when somebody's literally go, oh, you go left now, and I'm like, well, I didn't, you know, maybe I wanted to go right and see what was down there. And they're like, oh no, but I've played this before. You go left, and it's like, well, I haven't played it, so I don't want to know that I go left. I want to figure out for myself. But then you get in that really awkward situation where you're like, well, now I know I need to go left. So what do I do? Do I be really stubborn and go right anyway? Which is what I do. I'm just like, well, I'm going right anyway.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of like, we've spoken about this at length before. I'm not going to like bog down with it, but just don't backseat game, guys. Just like, especially if you see the tag, like no backseat gaming, just, you know, just ask before you offer advice. Anyway, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. And I guess if they make a sequel, I'll look at it, but I still have no idea what went on. The story was very crazy. Although one thing that I will say, just while we're on the topic of Bendy, is that they, like a lot of games, it has like voice tapes in it. Like lots and lots and lots of games, especially first-person games, have voice tapes in there for narrative. But the voice tapes in this one, like, do a cardinal sin for me, which is when you start playing the voice tape, if you walk away from the voice tape, it stops. And I hate that because it means you have to like physically stand there still listening to this voice tape, which some of them are like, you know, like 30 seconds long. And I'm just like, I'm not going to stand still for 30 seconds live on stream listening to this dialogue. Like let it play while I go on, you know. That's just that's a me thing. That's a preference. But so I missed a lot of the voice tapes. In fact, if I ever play it on my own, I'll go back and listen to them. But yeah,
that's probably why you have no idea what's happening.
Yeah,
because you were like, I'm not standing around listening.
Here's the thing, though. Like, here's the thing. If that's how you know what's going on, then in my opinion, that's a negative. Like, you should still be able to get the story. For me, like, you know, voice tapes and things should be like extras. They should be like little sort of like Easter eggs or little Like in Bioshock, you know, you got the story in Bioshock, like say Bioshock Infinite, for example. You got the story, but you got these cool little sort of like side stories if you did the voxophones in Bioshock Infinite. And that was great, and I love that. And they also auto-played in Bioshock Infinite, so, you know. But that's what I'm saying, they should be like added extras, but, you know, these things should be like a reward for somebody who wants to sit through and listen to them. They shouldn't be something that's integral to the story. And so, yeah, I kind of finished that game. I had no idea what was going on. There was like kind of like a twist ending, like no spoilers, but it was kind of like a twist ending. And I was like, what's the twist though? I'm like, it's like
get it.
You know when like, you know, they framed it as a twist because of all the music and everything. It was like, and I was like, what? Like, okay then, sure. But that was Bendy. It was okay. I would recommend it. It's probably on the Steam Summer Sale, which we're going to talk about right now because the Steam Summer Sale's on, and I have opinions.
I bought a game.
You bought a game. Which game did you buy?
I bought Dead Cells.
Oh yeah. You said you bought
I bought some DVDs. All the DVD. I can't English. I swear to God.
It's fine. It's not like we're recording a podcast or anything. Don't worry about it.
It needs to be able to talk. I only were trying to work in an entertainment industry where I stand in front of people and talk. It's not like I need to speak English.
I know, it's not like it's a required skill set for your job that you've chosen, you know.
God damn. Both my jobs. Dead by Daylight, all of the DLCs on sale. So I was like, cool, I grabbed the Hag. I considered getting Myers. I considered getting Pigu. I thought
Pig was given.
No, none of the licensed ones are. I would just get them all while they're on sale because you're going to want them eventually. Like if you can afford it, just get them all because like they're pretty cheap, and when they're on sale, they're very cheap.
How much are they right now?
They'll be like $3.50 or less.
Yeah, usually. I think Pig's the most expensive at the moment, and she's $3.11. So the expensive ones are $3.11, and then there's a couple that are like £2.30.
That's in UK currency.
Yeah, that's pounds
sterling. Quids.
But yeah, I got the Hag, so I'm just fed up on not having Ruin because I play Killer every time I'm not playing with you guys. I play Killer.
The thing with this is for anybody who plays Dead by Daylight will tell you like Ruin as a killer is almost required. It's like an almost required perk. I feel almost like at this point Ruin should be given to every killer. You know, like it should be taken away from Hag and given to as a base because it basically is required. You know. So
DLCs in Canada are like $8.43, $13.19.
Ooh, is that on sale or?
60% off. 53% off, 58% off.
Wait, you have a higher percentage off and they're more expensive.
Well, our dollar is crap compared to you.
They're 40% off here.
Yeah. They're
Well, I'm never moving to Canada. Oh, no, actually, no. I should earn loads of money in the UK and then I should move to Canada.
I want to go to Canada.
Taylor
keeps trying to set me up with a friend.
British money.
I know! You guys would be perfect!
Taylor's trying to set me up with a friend, but I live in Britain, which is an issue.
Yeah. Well, you could move.
Yeah, but your money is rubbish.
He hasn't even met the last yet. He's not going to move to another country to a girl he's never met.
No, what would happen is you would take your money and transfer it here, and you would have more money.
I have no money. All I have is debt.
I know, me too.
So I transfer over and have more debt.
It's millennial living standards, guys. Just debt. Everybody's in debt.
Just overdrawn all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. What were we talking about? Yeah, Steam Summer Sale. That was it. So the Steam Summer Sale has started, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever been less interested in a Steam Summer Sale. So I loaded it up.
No. Sorry, corgis have gone to 4th place. This isn't okay.
Oh no, guys, if you're watching the podcast, pick Team Corgi, please. Both me and Elliott are on Team Corgi, so we want that to win. But yeah, the Steam Summer Sale started, and usually a Steam Summer Sale is between, for my opinion, between the Summer Sale and the Christmas Sale, whatever they call a Christmas one, the winter one. They're usually the two biggest sort of Steam sales. They're the best ones. It's where you get all the best deals and all of that. But this time, the Steam sales just seems, I don't know, it seems not that great. There's a lot of games that are on 10% off, 20% off, you know, not great discounts. There's not many games that have stood out for me, and on top of that, sorry, go on.
I'm looking at them, and a lot of the ones I think you just already own.
Possibly, because you know, it's possible.
Like there's Doom on here. There's Final Fantasy. There's Far Cry. There's like a bunch of ones.
Yeah, there is a bunch of games that I already have and stuff, but like
I think it's just because you might already own them. Like there's
it's
The Witcher's on here. Civilization.
I just feel like every time a big Steam sale happens, there's always at least one game that I'm like, yeah, I'm buying that one. In fact, usually I'm like, there's 10 games that I want. I just can't afford them all right now. Whereas this one just kind of, there's nothing that's standing out for me. And I think part of the problem, though, is that the layout of it, like, what do you guys think about the layout of this one? Because I really don't like it. Like
I am not a fan. I'm finding it really hard to... Because with a lot of them, it's like you can view everything that's on sale and you can just scoot through it.
Yeah.
And this isn't like that. They've bumped some to the front, and there doesn't seem to be... Like, the ones at the front don't seem to be, like, games that are recommended for me. They don't seem to be games that they particularly, like, stand out to me.
100%.
They're chucking them at the front to chuck them at the front.
Yeah. Usually the Steam summer sales are quite like, well, all of the Steam sales are like tailored to your sort of like interest and your buying habits. And that's usually how I find the games that I want. I'm like, oh, here's, The Witcher. That's great. But this year just seems to be like, I don't know, it doesn't seem that personalized. It doesn't seem like any of these games are games that I've shown an interest in almost. So I'm really sort of struggling to actually like find anything. And on top of that, you have like categories, and then it's like, here's horror games, and you're like, oh, okay, let me see all the horror games that are on sale. You click on horror games, you click on see more, and then it brings up games that are full price. It just brings up the horror games.
Yeah, it just brings up all horror games.
Right.
Yeah, which is like, I'm like, why would you do that in the middle of a giant sale? Like, if I want to just see horror games, I'll go to horror. I want to see the horror games that are on sale. So I think this, I don't know who's in charge of the design of this UI for this summer sale, but please change it. I mean, you've only got like a week left, so it's not going to get changed. But next time, think about it better. Like, just make it better.
Winter.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. And then we've got the event on, which is like some racing rubbish where you pick a team, and then if you do stuff and buy games, your team gets ahead. But there's a bit of a news story, isn't there, on this? So the way that it apparently works, which I didn't even know until this is another bad point of the sale, because I didn't even know that this was a thing until we talked about it pre-podcast.
You didn't go and read all of the Grand Prix. There is I'm on it at the moment. Like, if you click on the Grand Prix thing, at the top there's all these big flashy colours and bits like that shows the races and the standings and stuff. Then there's a driver's manual, which kind of half explains it. But you have to click links that are in the driver's manual to actually see the info. Can I just make a point? Like, I don't want to have to read a manual for a sale. It's not hard. Just show me games that are cheap that I like, and I'll buy them. Like, there shouldn't be a manual. I don't need instructions. But apparently we do. There's a lot to it.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently the way that it works is if you're on the winning team, is it daily?
If you're the top 3, so every day has a race, and then the more games you buy, and if you complete achievements in certain games and do certain things, you get points. You can use up to 1,000 points to boost your team. And if you get enough boosts, you can use like slowdowns, so you can attack other teams to slow down their progress. And basically, that's how the races are calculated. So whichever team has the most boosts and has been attacked the least will go faster.
Who's going to participate in this?
People.
I've been doing it because, like, I bought some games, I got a load of points, and it kind of went, you have all these points you can use in the race. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll do it. And then obviously, like, so the top 3 teams of each race, so there's a race a day, top 3 teams in the podium finish, some people on that team will get the game from the top of their wish list. But it's very ambiguously written as to what you get, which is what caused the mess up.
Yeah, so basically what's happened is because people have figured out, like, oh, hey, there's a chance that I'm going to win, the games off my wish list. A lot of people have run out there and gone like, ooh, a $5.99 indie game? Let's get rid of that. Let's take that off the wish list. I don't want to win that one. I want to win, Sekiro or...
Yeah,
I don't know,
something like $80.
Yeah,
Sekiro,
exactly.
The big ones that have been won are Sekiro, Total War, Cyberpunk.
Which I would love.
Come out
I would love to win Total War
because
I couldn't afford this one. It's the only Total War game since Rome 2 that I haven't bought on launch. But yeah, so people have like
won Cyberpunk, which I'm like, really, like, what the hell? It's a £50 pre-order.
Yeah. Guess
why can't I have it?
Like, yeah, I would also like a copy, please.
Can I? Yeah, Steam. If you're watching,
do you think I'm big enough as a streamer to be like, yo, CD Projekt Red, yo, I love your Witcher 3 game. Please send me Cyberpunk. I love you forever, please. Like,
tell them that we'll make a video where if they give us 3 codes, all 3 of us will play using different characters, and we'll like run it side by side.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone else will be doing that. We'll make it niche.
I'll change my name to TheGrumpyBrit for a month just to,
if you point at Keanu Reeves and tell him he's breathtaking, they give you a free copy. But then you'll turn it down and you'll get them to donate to charity. which was kind of cool. He turned down his free pre-order, and he was like, "Can you buy a go-kart for this charity? For it's like a charity for like sick kids." And everyone on Twitter was like,
"Why a go-kart?"
Apparently that's just a charity he likes. And there was a charity that they do like experience days and stuff for sick kids. So like,
legend.
Well done, that guy.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was a hell of a Keanu Reeves move.
Yeah.
For the fact that he told Keanu Reeves he was breathtaking, he really Keanu Reeves to the prize. Like,
very true.
Well done, dude.
Yeah, I watched Jim Sterling's video about that whole situation, and he was saying that like because of that happening, it'd be like towards the start of E3, there were people that just were heckling the whole time, just like trying to say whatever, just say something edgy or whatever, just so because they wanted free shit, and it didn't work. Nobody else got free shit.
Yeah, no one else gave out free shit, which makes sense because
I mean, I feel like CD Projekt Red are probably at this point they are the like fan favorite company. I can't think of another company that is as highly regarded. I know they keep having little controversies that people get angry about, but I feel like there's not another games company at that level that like people actually like. Like all the big AAA ones are people hate them, not hate them, but there's a lot of
like
pushback.
EA is getting a lot of stick, Ubisoft's getting stick, Bethesda's getting a lot of stick, CD Projekt Red's the only one. But I mean the kind of stick that CD Projekt Red are getting, everyone's getting everywhere because it's just like the normal Twitter stuff.
Yeah.
Like just being non-controversy. I have a hot take and I'm gonna tell everyone.
I would like 9,000 retweets, please, for my hot take. I will accept none less. But yeah, so Steam Summer Sale kind of just honestly has not impressed me. I mean, I know I'm a grumpy guy, but I usually like the summer sales. Like, I look forward to them. I genuinely do. The summer sale and the Christmas sale, whatever, Steam Winter Sale, whatever they call it. I genuinely look forward to them because I'm like, oh, cool. We'll get some games that I've missed when they were new and I'll get them for cheaper. And there's always been really great deals, but this sale is just failing to do what a sale should do, and that is show me products that I want to buy. Like, it's making it difficult for me to find products, and that's like the opposite of what a sale should do. Yeah. So just maybe think about that next time, Steam. Like maybe think about.
I think that is the biggest mess up. It's like, so the best bit on it is I found there's a bit where they do featured franchises. And that's quite good. It's like a big scroll bar, and you can basically go through it.
This is my problem, as Taylor said earlier. On the featured franchises, most of those featured franchises I already own the main games from. So
yeah.
Yes. I mean, there's a few in there that I was looking at, but like most of the games that I was looking at that I'm really interested in buying, the discount isn't that much.
Yeah, I found that as well.
So
there was a lot of games
So
like just like the you generate games like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. Like I'm not still a bit much for me for a summer sale, but yeah, there's a lot of games. I mean, I could go through Steam and give you some examples, but there's a lot of games that I look at that that's on sale, but it's like 10% and it's 20%, and I'm just like,
like Sekiro only is 20.
Yeah, which I understand it. It's not been out that long, and it's popular, so I get that they don't want to deep discount it. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, well, if it's 10% off, like why I'm not gonna rush out and buy it now. I'll buy it when I've got more money. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna purchase it now. Then at 10% off, 10% off is kind of nothing. Like, unless you were already going to buy it that day anyway, and you were like, oh, 10% off, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, kind of sounds like I'm just moaning, but at the same time, like I haven't bought anything from it yet. Like, I've looked and I'm just like, there's a couple of games I'm like, maybe. Like I was saying,
I bought Dead Cells, but I was gonna buy Dead Cells. I basically said that because some of my viewers were like, I want to see you play Dead Cells just to see whether you get wrecked or not. So I was like, if it goes on sale in the Steam sale, I will buy it. And then it went on sale. Once again, it was like 20 or 30% off. And I went, well, I did say I'd buy it, but I mean, it's only 20 quid full price anyway. So
yeah, it's not bad.
Like,
I like Dead Cells. It's a decent game.
It's a good game. I'm enjoying it. I don't regret
it. Good. But yeah, that's it. That's the Steam sale. That's the news. It wasn't really big news. It was. I think this has happened before. With wishlist. I think they've done something similar. It rings a bell where people have been like, you can win games on your wishlist, so they've just cleared out the wishlist.
And the sale ends in 2 weeks.
I think it's the 9th of July, I believe.
It is indeed the 9th of July, which is next Monday.
Yeah,
I think Saturday's the 7th, because Saturday the 7th is Twitch Meetup, and I'm going to Twitch Meetup. So if anyone's watching this and is going to Twitch Meetup London, I will be there.
We don't
I'll be
talk about.
I'll be on my Todd as well.
We don't talk about Twitch on YouTube, Elliot. Obviously.
I'm talking about a social event. It just happens to be
not even allowed to mention Twitch. Not even allowed to wear the merch or anything.
Okay. Just the standard level of hypocrisy from Grumps.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I'm a rule upon myself. No, I want to talk about. We're gonna smoothly segue onto the main topic of today because I've been wanting to talk about this
transition
all goddamn week. So the big news. It's about a week old now, but we've had some big news this week from EA and Epic Store, and it's about my topic. This is what I'm passionate about, and when I say passionate, I mean passionate against. So. For those of you who, I don't know, live in the sea or whatever, if you haven't heard the news, EA and Epic Store were both taken to, I don't want to say taken to court, but they were taken to the UK Parliament and some questions were thrown at them. The UK Parliament are very interested in these companies at the moment because there's a lot of controversy, there's a lot of news, and there's a lot of ethical questions that need to be asked. And so, it's all around, if you haven't heard, loot boxes. So EA were called to the UK Parliament, a representative of EA was called to the UK Parliament to talk about loot boxes in their games, which we know that, EA massively relies on loot boxes for FIFA. A lot of people don't realize it, but FIFA packs are loot boxes. They're exactly the same thing. Just because they're called a pack, they're still a loot box. It's the same mechanic. Exactly the same mechanic. So they rely very heavily and they make a heck of a lot of money on these FIFA packs. And in fact, there was a news story a few months ago. I can't remember how long ago, about 6 months ago maybe, where a bunch of streamers were given like 100 FIFA packs each, and not a single one of them got a golden player, I think they're called, which is like the rare version of the players. And that called into question the drop rates on these loot boxes. So just in case anybody's not aware what a loot box is a container of some kind that you can buy in a game that you don't know what it contains. It could contain absolute garbage. It could contain rares or legendaries or goldens or epics of whatever you wanted. And a lot of people, myself included, believe that these constitute gambling. Not in the legal definition of gambling, because in the legal definition you need to have, money coming out of them, but they are the same psychologically. They are the same in principle. So you are paying money for something and you don't know what you're getting, and what you're getting could be awful. Could be
for someone who plays the devil's advocate. It's not technically gambling, and this is how they get around it legally, because whatever you're paying for, you're actually going to get something back out of. With gambling, there's an opportunity to not get anything. So Grumpy is annoyed because most of the things are of like lower value, things that people wouldn't really want. So like, yes, you're wasting your money because you're getting stuff you wouldn't really want. But like, is it gambling? Like, they get away with it because you're not showing up with nothing.
Just to argue against that, though, technically, if we're gonna play on technicalities, right? Technically,
I'm just telling everyone because you're giving a one-sided.
You are absolutely right, because that is how they have gotten away with it. That is how EA and others have gotten away with it. You're absolutely right. They have used the same sort of argument, but technically, you are getting nothing because you're getting digital only stuff. And not only are you getting digital only stuff, but we've talked about this recently, you don't own the game anymore. You don't own the game, and you could be banned on that game at any time. You basically essentially have a license for a game now. So technically you aren't
you
getting
agreed
anything.
to their like terms and conditions when you purchase that stuff.
Absolutely,
so you've agreed to those.
Absolutely. But the point is that these loot boxes are psychologically addictive for a lot of people, and not only they are addictive.
That's how they get away with it.
No, you are absolutely right, and that actually leads into this story because they double down on that mentality, and we're going to come to that very shortly. But yeah, these loot boxes are very psychologically addictive. They are designed to be addictive. They are designed to be fun and happy, and when you keep buying because you want to get that legendary, and you get one legendary, and you're like, oh, well, the next box might be a legendary too, so you keep buying. There's no upper cap. You can buy as many as you want. And in fact, you're quite often encouraged to buy them in big bulk quantities, buy 50 and save 10%. Yay. Like all that crap. A lot of games will give you free ones on like a drip feed to get you interested in them. And this has been going on for a long time. So EA got called to the UK Parliament to answer some questions, and they weren't on trial. It wasn't like they were being sued, or it wasn't like the company was like necessarily in trouble, but they got called because there were some concerns. And EA, I forget her name. In fact, I'm not going to name her anyway because it's one person and I don't believe in attacking individual people. But this representative from EA sat there, and the gentleman asked her, do you think loot boxes are ethical? That was the question. Her response to that was, I wish I could get some video. Like, we might see if I can like splice this in. But her response was, well, first of all, we don't call them loot boxes. We call them surprise mechanics. Surprise mechanics. Just let that one sink in for a second. She went on even further than that, though. That wasn't quite enough for EA. They couldn't just, they're trying to rebrand it to surprise mechanics, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But not only that, they then likened them to Kinder Eggs. She said, well, Kinder Eggs do it. They've been doing it for years. It's the same thing. Loot boxes are just the same thing as Kinder Eggs. Which got a laugh, by the way, from the UK Parliament. The gentleman found that very amusing. But this whole story has gotten a lot of attention because a lot of people have been very critical of these companies and saying, we know that loot boxes have been banned in Belgium for some time now. And we know that EA is still trying to fight that. They're still trying to fight Belgium. And they keep consistently saying that, oh, that's Belgium's interpretation of the law. And I'm like, well, no, now it actually is law. They've changed laws in Belgium, so you're kind of wrong on that one. But we know they've been banned in they've been banned in Belgium for a long time, and EA are still trying to fight that because they know how much money they make. The problem is there is mounting evidence that loot boxes are actually harmful for some people. Not all people, but some people. And I would go further than that and say they might be harmful for some people, but they're anti-consumer for everybody. You're paying money for something that might be absolute garbage, and in fact most loot boxes, the percentage chance of actually getting something good is tiny. So 9 times out of 10 you are paying for garbage. So I think that's a very anti-consumer thing. So EA coming out and saying that we don't call them loot boxes, we call them surprise mechanics, and we think they're just like Kinder Eggs. What do you guys think about that? Do you think they have a point? Do you think that's absolute garbage? Is a loot box the same as a Kinder Egg?
Functionally, kind of. Because you pay money, you don't know what's inside it, and what you get is probably garbage.
Yeah.
So
I mean, on that point, every Kinder Egg toy is pretty much garbage. So it's kind of at least
pretty much
everything
from loot boxes is garbage.
Not true though, not true. Especially if you look at Overwatch, some of the legendary skins in Overwatch are really great.
I don't play Overwatch anymore, so I'm eh.
I do. I just don't open the loot boxes. I've got nearly 100 of them.
Yeah, I know, because it really, really annoys people when they see your UI. Because
100%.
That's one of the things that loot boxes do. On your main page, it's got this big glowing golden bit in Overwatch that's you have so many loot boxes, you could open them. And
it's funny because there are some people that defend loot boxes, like gamers. I'm not talking about the companies, actual gamers that defend loot boxes. And usually the defense that these people give to loot boxes is, well, just ignore them then. You don't have to open them. And my counter to that would be, yeah, but when it's there in your face every time you log in and it's like you say, it's big gold and shiny. And then, if you click on that loot box when it's you have 99 loot boxes, you click on it, what's the first thing that pops up? Here's the store. Want to buy some more? They know what they're doing. These companies know exactly what they're doing.
But that's literally the entire economy we live in. Everywhere you go, you're being given messages to buy shit. And our entire existence is completely centered around buying shit.
But buying shit is different to buying the chance of shit.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you know what you're getting.
I think the whole problem is just buying shit. Everyone just needs to stop buying shit. To just blame one mechanism. That's
but there's
just
a big difference between going to a store and, because you're absolutely right. So I learned this at uni, that there is actually a whole branch of psychology that is marketing psychology essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do. They literally research how do we sell more stuff. Personally, for me, I think it's a very shady thing, but it's just, again, we'll just say it's just business. But you're absolutely right. Yeah. When you walk into a supermarket and you have a big red sign with a massive arrow that says sale or something like that, all of these things are all psychologically tuned to get you to buy what they want. And a really good example of that kind of stuff, I've actually spoken about this on stream before, is companies that will say they want to sell a car, right? And the car they want to sell is 10 grand. I'm just making these numbers up, right? But say they want to sell a car for 10 grand. They will make 3 models of that car. They'll make one for 8 grand that's nearly as good, but then they'll make another one that's 20 grand. And they don't want to sell those 20 grand cars. In fact, they don't make many of them. They make 10 of them, right? Because they know that then not many people are going to buy them because it's a crap deal, because the 20 grand one is basically the same as the 10 grand one, but maybe it has, I don't know, a better stereo system in it. And so people
this
go
is a
along.
Long analogy.
It's a very long analogy. People go along and they look at the 10 grand car and they go, oh my God, what an amazing deal, because it's half the price of the 20 grand one and it's only 2 grand more than, it's that one, but it's got so many more features than the 8 grand one. So, or it's a great deal, but really it's not. It's just, you've been tricked into buying it. This kind of stuff happens all the time. Even down to, we said, the colors used in sales. This is actually true, by the way. This is real. In a sale, if they want to make a panic purchase, they'll use the color red, because the color red gets you it's a danger color. So it's like, oh my God, they might run out. Oh my God, if they're going to run out of this shampoo, I need to buy it now, right? Whereas if you're doing something that's considered like a safe purchase or like a logical purchase, so stores that do like bulk buy will use blue because blue is a trustworthy color and it makes sense. It's an intelligent color. So you go, I want to buy 1,000 toilet rolls because I know I'm going to need toilet rolls. So I'll buy 1,000 of them. So that kind of marketing, they use blue because it makes you think, no, this is a sensible purchase. So even down to the colors of the marketing is like chosen very, very carefully and very specifically to get you to buy what they want you to buy. The difference is though, is that if you're tricking me into buying toilet roll, I can look at the toilet roll and go, that's toilet roll. I either want it or I don't want it. And I can look at the toilet roll and I can make an informed decision on, yes, this gets the job done. It's double ply. It'd be great, right? Whereas with loot boxes, you're buying something that you literally don't know what's in it. So you could buy that loot box. Say you pay £2.50 or £5 or whatever it is for the loot box. And then you open up that loot box and get nothing that you want. So then you're in a
But I mean, you can apply that logic to anything. Like, let's say you've seen a trailer of a movie. You go, that looks fantastic. You spend money on the movie. The movie's shit. So you've now paid for something of like, you're expecting one thing, but you're getting another. That's like just anything right, that you buy.
But at least you get some information about the movie. Like you go to see a movie trailer and you're like, right, it's a
horror movie. But I mean, you do get information. You get, this is like the best quality thing. This is the worst quality thing. You might get a mix of it.
Yeah,
like you're told what the options are, so you're gonna look at the shit thing and be like, I may be getting a shit thing, but I could get a good thing.
The difference with that though is that people buy the loot boxes to get that one good thing, or they want the legendary skins or the golden ones or whatever. They don't want the other shit that's in there.
I mean, but that's any purchase. You want it to be the best thing that you're imagining it's gonna be with any purchase you make. Like even with the toilet paper analogy, like you could be buying toilet paper that they marketed to you as like the best toilet paper, and you get it, and it's one ply. Like,
yeah. Again, the difference
that comes into like false marketing.
Yeah, that's
so like if someone says to me like, "Oh, it's 2-ply toilet paper, it's really good."
I'm loving how we've made this a toilet paper analogy. Like this is.
I don't know why the toilet paper.
Because loot boxes are shit.
We need some GGWP branded toilet paper. We need that.
But it's more than just like, say I went to a cinema and so you're saying like if you watch a trailer and then it's not as good as you thought the trailer was. Like that's just a risk when you buy.
That's kind of a subjective thing too. But the thing with that is like I would say is like if you go to a movie, imagine the movie was 10 minutes long. That's the same effect as a loot box because you're like, wait, hang on a minute, like that's not what, that's crap. Like 10-minute movie, like what the fuck? That's the same kind of like thing. Whereas like with a movie, you expect it's probably going to be about an hour and a half long. It's going to have actors in it, actresses, whatever. It's going to have like a plot, and maybe that might be bad, but it's not the same as like actually walking out and being like, I got nothing. Like even a bad movie is still like a kind of like an experience almost, So
like,
whereas
if I went into a cinema and bought a mystery ticket,
opening a shitty item is still an experience.
Yeah, a very bad one.
Say I went to a cinema and they were like, oh, if instead of paying £5 for a ticket, you can pay £3 for a ticket. It's a mystery ticket, and then like
exactly,
you might get to watch
like a loot box is.
Or you might get to watch an episode of Riverdale.
Well, then you can go. I like Riverdale until recently.
Can we put like a universally bad TV show, like I don't know, like Friends or something? Like,
I don't know, or you can get like a black and white, no sound movie from the '60s. I don't know.
But I mean, then that's the opportunity, or what you might be receiving.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing.
Okay. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with loot boxes, though. A lot of the games you don't actually have the option to purchase the skin. So imagine you went to the cinema, right? We're going deep into this analogy. If you go into the cinema and you physically can't, no, but it's a good analogy though. You physically can't buy the ticket to Avengers. They just don't sell it. They do not sell a ticket to Avengers. All they sell is this box that has a ticket in it, and it might be the Avengers, but it also might be. I don't know. What's like a really bad film that's come out recently? Apparently, Chucky's really bad. I've watched Angry Joe's video on that. Apparently it's really bad, which sucks. I like Chucky, but yeah, it could be like a really crap movie that like no one wants to watch. That would be a comparison between loot boxes, because you open that box and you're like, oh, is it going to be Avengers? And you open it and it's like, oh, it's Garfield 3, and then you're just like. So what do you do with that ticket? You just put it in the bin. No one wants to watch Garfield 3. So, you've got nothing now. You just wasted money. Whereas you could have gone and just bought the Avengers ticket. You know, and so then the next logical step now is, well, now I've spent like, because, you know, a movie ticket would be like $10, right? And the box is $2.50. So then you buy another $2.50 box, and then you're like, oh, it's Garfield again. So you put that in the bin. Now you spent $5, and you're like, well, I might as well carry on because, you know, I've still got, and then before you know it, you spent 50 quid, and then, or dollars, whatever, and you still haven't got your Avengers ticket because the percentage chances on these loot boxes are like 0.01% on most of them, or even less.
So like, running screaming away from the weird analogies, like I think loot boxes are fine, but I think there needs to be some regulations put in. So like there are countries that, so like I think in China, you have to show the odds of what you're getting. So say you click on a loot box and it's like, okay, here are all the items that you can get. Your odds of each of those are this, which in Britain
should be
is the law for gambling.
Yeah.
So if I use a fruit machine, like I don't know, do you call them fruit machines in Canada? Like
a
you know,
one-on-one
pubs.
Like
you know, in like pubs where like you have like a machine, you put money in, and then
in Canada.
You don't have pubs in Canada.
Pubs
what do you call that?
Okay, you put money in, and then what happens?
So you put money in, you press a button, and it spins reels, and if you get like 3 7s, you win.
Yeah,
money.
that's you go to like a casino.
Well, yeah, you can get them in casinos, but like we have them in pubs here.
We don't have that. It's all in a casino.
So like. Yeah. But either way, pub, casino, whatever, wherever that fruit machine is, on it, it literally says the odds of getting the jackpot on this machine are 1 in whatever. If you buy a scratch card, on the back of the scratch card, legally, they have to display the odds of you getting a win on this card is 1 in whatever, and the odds of you getting the jackpot of this card is 1 in whatever.
Yeah.
So they have to show you what your odds of winning are, effectively.
I think that's a great idea.
In China, that's what they do with loot boxes. So if I don't know how exactly it works because I don't live in China, so I literally can't see the user interface for it. But I think it's along the lines of like, so with Overwatch, you'll say like, you will get a yellow quality item, your odds are 1 in whatever. Purple quality is 1 in whatever, 1 in whatever, 1 in whatever. So like, it shows you what your odds of getting each thing is. And I think that
so then
would be
at
one
least you
regulation
can
I'd
make
want
an
on it.
informed decision on, if you look at it and it goes, hey, your chance of getting this legendary skin is 0.001%, you'd be like, I don't think I'm going to buy that. I mean, most people would, right? You'd be like, that's stupid odds.
Well, this is it.
Like,
So say you have a 1 in 1,000 chance and it's £5 for a box. You go, cool. I'm effectively buying this skin if I spend £5,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I could get it before then, but that's where it's going to be looking at for like purchasing. But I think that's one thing that should be put in place. And another thing I think should be put in place for loot boxes is, again, I don't know how it works in other countries, but in England, if I go to the casino and I take money out at like their little cash booth thing, for my casino account, so I give them my account card and then I take money out with my bank card, you can put a cap on what withdrawals you can make. Yeah. So you can have a thing saying, I can only take out £100. And basically what it does is it stops you, because one of the biggest problems with gambling is, say I buy 10 loot boxes and I don't get the skin I want, and I'm just like, I'll top up my account, I'll get 10 more. And it just stops you going, I'll just grab like another 5. I'll just grab another, like it stops you at the casino. So say you take £100 and you lose it all and you're like, I know that win streak's coming, which is what gambling does to some people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It stops you then going back to the booth thing, because like you go like, oh, can I get another 50 quid? And they're like, they scan your account card and they're like, no, you're at your withdrawal limit. You can't take out any more money. Obviously, you can leave the casino, get money, and then come back.
I don't see that ever being applied to this like template because they want your money. Like,
well, in China,
yeah, like,
there is a restriction on how many you can buy. That's not a choice. That's an enforced thing in China.
Casinos want your money. This is
thing
illegal.
With this though, and the reason why EA got called to the UK Parliament specifically is because that children are getting access to these things now. EA has said, and to a degree, I actually agree with EA on this one, but EA have said in their defense that, you know, that parents need to take some more responsibility for what their children are playing. And I do agree with that. However, children are buying games like FIFA. FIFA is basically marketed as it's an unage restricted game. Anyone can buy FIFA. There's no age restriction on it. So if you're selling a game like FIFA that has no age restriction, so a 6-year-old child could buy that game, and then you're introducing them and exposing them to, again, what is essentially gambling. It might not legally be gambling, but it's just as psychologically manipulative and addictive and dangerous as gambling. Because again, you know, gambling's not addicted to every single person. Of course it's not. Some people gamble and they're fine. Just like how some people drink alcohol and are fine. Some people drink alcohol and become alcoholics. It's the same thing with gambling. But when you're introducing this to children who are impressionable and who, you know, will potentially grow up to have a gambling addiction because of it, there needs to be something. And I know a lot of the pushback came from YouTubers. I'm going to be honest. A lot of the pushback on loot boxes came from big YouTubers like Jim Sterling, Angry Joe, and others as well. But they've been saying for a long time, and I agreed with them, that you need to do something to like stop that from happening. You need to take some responsibility as a company and go, okay, these loot boxes, you're sure they might be fun for some people, but they are potentially harmful. We need to do something about it. And they didn't want to. They just wanted to keep making the money, and that's all they gave a shit about. Now they're being investigated by Parliament and Belgium and other even in the US, there's senators pushing for them to be banned, and they could have avoided it. They absolutely could have avoided it. But going back to the news story of EA likening them to Kinder eggs, I'm just gonna like give my opinion on that, where we said it's functionally the same thing. And it is. And I've said this before about Magic the Gathering cards. They're essentially loot boxes too. Like a Magic pack or a Pokemon card or Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. They're essentially that too. The difference is one, you're getting physical products with a Kinder Egg or a Magic the Gathering pack. And to be fair, you can sell them or trade them or whatever. If you buy a Magic the Gathering pack and you open it and you get like a rare card, you could sell it on, you could trade it. You could give it to your mate, whatever. You could keep it in a folder forever, whatever. It's very different, in my opinion, with digital only stuff, because again, you don't even own it. You're gambling on something you don't even own, which is even worse, in my opinion, than a Kinder Egg or a Magic the Gathering pack. But the point that these companies are just doubling down, and even with mounting evidence, because by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but there was a report that came out this year in the UK, and young people in the UK are increasingly becoming gambling addicts. That's a true. The research has been done, and there are more young people addicted to gambling in the UK than there ever has been. And I'm going to be honest, correlation does not equal causation, but I feel like I know a reason why. I feel like it's pretty obvious. Like, where are these children? Because in the UK, if you're under 18, you can't gamble. You can't go to a casino. You can't use the slot machine in a pub. You can't do anything. You can't buy scratch cards. You got to be, I think 16, is it 16, 18 for scratch cards? So where are they getting exposed to gambling from? Like, tell me one other place they're getting it from. Like, I know I have not done the research, but I know where it's coming from. It's coming from these games. It's coming from FIFA and Overwatch and all these games that have loot boxes in it. There's no other place it could be coming from. So
I think it is definitely like a gambling light, if you like. Yeah. It definitely has similar mechanics, and obviously it will be introducing people to that endorphin rush that you get from risking an amount of money for something.
Just without I'd say without the risk, but you're still spending money to do it. So you're still losing money. In fact, you've just got no chance of getting any money back. So it's probably even worse than gambling. But yeah, we know that there is a rise of gambling addiction in the UK right now. And that's a fact that has been proven by research. So again, what are these companies doing with that? Nothing. They're arguing with Parliament, saying, no, it's fine. It's fine. They're great. No worries. They're okay. They're just like Kinder Eggs. Don't worry about it. And Parliament, to be fair, like, I was actually quite surprised, because I had a feeling that maybe Parliament doesn't know a lot about video games, but the guy who was asking the questions seemed to be like quite clued up. Like, he seemed to know his stuff. And in fact, he was talking and saying, like, when they were saying stuff like, oh, it's like Kinder Eggs, he was like, no, no, they're not. Like, so he knows what he's talking about. So he, but it's going to happen.
I feel like Britain's definitely in a better place, because like America a while ago had those where the Senate called forward Facebook and Google, and the people that were like pushing Facebook and Google for information, they had no idea what was happening.
Didn't they get the company wrong? Didn't they say like
they asked Google about like
about the iPhone or something?
Yeah, they asked.
Oh my god.
And it was just like, you clearly don't know what is happening in the thing that you're pushing for. And it was like a complete farce. But this does seem handled much better. They clearly have people that have looked into it and understand the system that they are talking about.
Yeah. 100%.
Which gives me some faith in the British government, at least. Yeah. That's nice.
It's nice for a change. But yeah, so my point is, this is going to go one of two ways. They're either going to become regulated, which will be very difficult to regulate them in a video game that can be accessed by anyone. If I buy the game and I'm like, oh, hey, Timmy, 6-year-old Timmy, I don't know what Timmy is, but I'm like, hey, do you want to play some FIFA? Now all of a sudden, like, is that okay? Is that legal? Like, how do you regulate it? I feel like it's probably more likely that they're just going to get outright banned. And
I mean, so you got two choices basically. You can make it so that anything with gambling mechanics has to be an 18, which we've had the conversation before, won't work. But actually, what it does is works really well for everyone else, because it makes it's no longer the responsibility of EA or the government or like any governing bodies, it's the responsibility of parents to control the media that their children are
just to
using.
add onto that, onto your point. So the ESRB, which was the I forget exactly what it stands for, but the rating system board that was set up for video games was set up because of Mortal Kombat, I believe. And apparently there was a lot of people that were kind of concerned with the violence that was in Mortal Kombat, because back then games could be sold to anybody. So they said we need to have a board that goes, okay, well, this game needs to have this age rating and this game has to have this one. And a lot of people are claiming that it hasn't really done anything. Like the ESRB, that the ratings haven't really done anything. Like it hasn't stopped these games getting into the hands of youngsters. It hasn't really helped anybody. And at the moment, the ESRB, all they do for loot boxes in a game is just say this game contains in-game purchases. But I mean,
you say that it hasn't done. You say how like there's people that say it hasn't done anything, but like I've definitely known people where they're like, yeah, my parents won't let me play 18+ games. And it's different for different parents. But I feel the problem was like obviously video games as media goes isn't a very old form of media.
Yeah, it's very
like what it's like 50 years old. Like,
did you say 50?
Realistically, well,
it's not even 50 really. It's like the 80s gaming started.
Well, it was I think 70 something that like the Atari came out, which obviously that's a very different thing.
Yeah.
But so parents nowadays weren't like coming up in the time where it's like, oh, games are super violent or games are this, or even like, because obviously older games, the graphics weren't good enough for it to be worrying for a child to play a game. And I think it's
pixel violence is a completely different thing to, you know, fully 3D realistic violence, which is kind of what we talked about last week with Call of Duty, where some people are getting concerned that the games are becoming too real. You know, it's almost like a episode of Black Mirror or something.
But it definitely like puts the onus onto parents to be like, okay, I need to actually pay attention to what it is that, like, what media my child is consuming.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of parents who are there just being like, well, when I was a kid, like you play whatever video game you want. Like we used to play, I don't know, like old style Blood Bowl and things like that. You know, it was really gruesome. And it's like, no, there was like spurts of red would come out when players hit each other. It's very different to the content that's in today's games.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think that's probably one of the things, because games companies are going to move against it because they don't want their games rated as 18.
Yeah, they just want, because they want to be able to sell it to as many people as possible.
Because I mean, FIFA, say FIFA becomes an 18, you'll get some sponsors who sponsor football, who also sponsor FIFA games, who are going to be like, I don't want my name against an 18 game. And they're probably not going to bother looking into it. They're not going to be like, oh, it's an 18 just because of gambling. And then that company be like, oh, it's fine then. They'll just be like, no, your game's an 18. I don't want to advertise it that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's going to definitely affect game makers, but it's probably the simplest way for them to do it, just because it takes the onus off of them. Because obviously the only alternative is what Belgium did, where they went, if your game has loot boxes in, it's illegal in this country, where you now cannot play games with loot boxes if you live in Belgium.
Yeah.
Which hits games manufacturers way harder, because it's one thing to lose your microtransactions like revenue, but if no one can physically buy your game, that's an issue for you.
Well, in Belgium, what happened was I know with Blizzard anyway, they removed them. They removed the loot boxes in Overwatch in Belgium. And what happened is all the Belgian players said, well, now we can't get skins at all. We just can't get them. So for all those people that are like, oh, you could just ignore the loot boxes, don't do it. It was bollocks, because they were like, well, now our game is worse because you've taken out these gambling mechanics. So the gambling mechanics were integral to the enjoyment of the game, which should never be the case. You know, like if that's the way it is, then like that game shouldn't be being sold in stores. It should be sold in a casino. If that's how it's going to be. But yeah, EA is basically at the moment the laughingstock again of the gaming industry. Everybody sees through this. Like nobody was fooled by EA going, they're just like Kinder Eggs, don't worry about it. Just chocolatey fun. By the way, I got 2 Kinder Eggs in my Canada box and they were delicious. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's like they tried to weasel their way out of it and nobody fell for it. Nobody
did birth a brilliant meme though. Have you seen the surprise mechanics meme? Like someone has said like, oh, I'm not pirating your game, it's a surprise purchase. And I was just like, yes, like this, exactly. Need more of this.
Exactly. So, which, of course, we don't condone piracy, but you know, it's still funny.
I don't condone piracy, but surprise purchases, that's fine.
Yeah, it was funny.
You could surprise purchase
because it's piracy. It's just a surprise purchase, isn't it?
Some of it is brilliant, and I was so ready to give EA my faith again because Jedi Fallen Order looks so good, and I was like, EA might not ruin this, and I was like, maybe old EA is back. Remember when we all used to get really excited to get the start of games like EA, and it was just like EA games, and now you see it and you're like,
please don't do this to me.
What was it? What was it? EA Sports. It's in the game.
yeah, that was the sports games one.
Yeah. I used to play sports games. Used to.
Like the old FIFAs, you had that, and then it went straight into what song was it?
Don't sing it.
I won't sing it because we'll get copyright strikes if I sing.
Not even allowed to sing or hum or anything now.
Oh, YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
They're getting in trouble at the moment as well, but
yeah. Which we discussed this pre-podcast. We don't actually want to talk about why YouTube are getting in trouble because
they're shadow banning people.
We'll probably just get deleted from YouTube anyway. So when you work for a platform,
find your video.
It's almost like we're in 1984, just with YouTube, like YouTube 1984.
It's a book, not a guide. The classic.
YouTube is always listening. Anyway, before we get banned, they'll probably ban me for that. Saying that, honestly, come at me, YouTube. Anyway,
I'll see what happens.
Loot boxes.
He's gonna cut this out. He's gonna edit that bit out.
I'm not. I'm keeping it in.
YouTube's
honestly,
gonna edit out.
Yeah, YouTube's gonna cut it out.
There'll just be like a jump cut to now, and everyone will be like, "Wonder what they skipped," and we'll watch it back, and be like, "Wait a minute."
Just pixels around my face. I'm not allowed on YouTube anymore. But yeah, no, I've always said, like, I feel like there is a place for loot boxes, but I do think that they need to be regulated or removed from certain games. And EA, they're flailing. And just before we move on to the next topic, the video game industry has boomed over the last sort of 10 years, and it's because of microtransactions. And as much as that pains me to say it, like, microtransactions have made a lot of money for this industry, and no wonder these companies are so desperate to keep making that money. Like, of course they are, but something needs to be done. Like, what's wrong with selling skins directly like they used to? Sell me the skin. If you make a good skin, people will buy it, and we know
make
this.
Way less money doing it that way. It's literally the only reason.
Exactly.
They can sell you chances at a skin, or they can just sell you a skin for a couple of quid.
Exactly.
And that's really it.
So this is going to happen now. Kind of brings us on to the next topic, because we've said, knowing that it's gonna happen, loot boxes are going to be banned or regulated eventually. It's inevitable at this point. EA, it's inevitable, so good luck. But knowing that's gonna happen, what do you think these companies are going to do? Do you think these companies are going to go, oh, okay, we're making less money now then? Or do you think they're going to go for another CD plan? They'll find another way to screw people out of money. I think they're going to do the latter. I think they're going to try and find another way to screw people out of money. And I think pretty much everyone can see what the next big thing's going to be. And in my opinion,
E3 was full of them.
Yeah, absolutely full of them. The next big thing,
absolutely loaded with them.
Oh, honestly, the next big thing.
Can you imagine if loot boxes came in the same way? Like, there was one E3 where just every single developer was like, "Yeah, now you can buy a box that might have a skin in it," and everyone's like, "What?"
I'm pretty sure they have shown off loot boxes at a previous E3,
but not in the same way that like the services were shown off in this year's E3. Like, every single person, like, this one's now available on the whatever the Xbox one is, and this one's now available on our new EA.
This is what our next topic is. We believe, well, I believe anyway. I believe the next thing that these companies are going to push for is subscriptions, and we know that a lot of companies already are pushing for subscriptions or already have their subscriptions. But I think they're going to go deep into it. I think they're going to go really hard on subscriptions. I would not be surprised if we start losing access to things unless you are subscribed to the service. You know, like, oh, you want to buy the latest Assassin's Creed, you better be on the U Club or whatever. Whatever. But like, I think it's going to be the way. I think that just in industry in general, you know, even like my new job at the moment, like, subscriptions are a big part of that too. Like, I feel like every industry is going for subscriptions. Just give a good example of my local cinema. Like, they now do a subscription where you can pay, you know, per month and get unlimited access and things like that. Like, everyone's trying to do subscriptions. And I think the reason why everyone's trying to do subscriptions, and we have a news story to tie into this, by the way, it's not just a conjecture, but I think the reason why everyone's trying to do subscriptions is because so many people like sign up for these subscriptions and then just forget about them, and then they pay for months or years, and they just don't even know, and so they just lose money on nothing because they're like, wait, hang on a minute, why have I spent $300 this year on what's this, Xbox Live? Like, what
well, I don't think it's like forgetting stuff. I think it's the same as like mobile phone companies nowadays. Like, mobile phone companies with like phone contracts. 10 years ago, I reckon, like, everyone was so desperate to retain you as a customer that if you called up your phone provider and you said, "Oh, I'm thinking of going to another company," they would offer you 101 deals. Now every good deal is new customers only.
Yeah.
And it's because it's easier to retain a customer than it is to gain a customer. So some people, you will retain them by accident. And I think that's part of this subscription service kind of like hype that's going to come through. It's because once you've started off, so say you're like, oh, I subscribe to like Bethesda service and I get access to all these Bethesda games. You're like, oh, I want to save some money and I want to get rid of subscription. I want to play games from EA, but I don't want to pay for 2 subscription services. But I already have all my save file stuff on the Bethesda one, and it's easier if I just don't play EA games.
Yeah,
and like I think it's that mentality that they're aiming at. It's just like well, I'm already subbed to this service, so if I unsub, I'm losing something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 100%. You can retain people by accident without pushing them for retention.
Yeah. I agree.
I think that's a big part of it.
I think it's probably a little bit of both. Like I do think they are banking on people that have these services but don't use them. It's like the old gym. It's like the old gym joke, isn't it? You know, when you have people that sign up in the gym in January and they're still signed up in like April and they've never been. They're like they're the perfect customer. Like because they're paying for nothing. You know, you're just getting free money. But I think my issue is we already have a lot of these subscriptions, and we're going to talk about Google Stadia because there's been news today about Google Stadia, which doesn't sound good for Google Stadia. So if you don't know what Google Stadia is, a lot of people were touting it like they were suspecting it was going to be like a Netflix for gaming. In fact, a lot of gamers have been putting this idea out for a little while of like, why don't we have like a Netflix for games where you pay a flat fee every month and you just get access to a big game library and you can play what you want when you want. And, you know, a lot of people have been hoping that a lot of these subscription services that are coming out are going to be that. And Google Stadia, just in case you don't know, it's not that. It's not that at all. In fact, it's a lot worse than that. So news has come out today about Google Stadia. And essentially, the way that Google Stadia works is you pay the subscription fee. I think it's $7.99, I believe, in the UK per month to use the service. But then you have to buy the games anyway on top of that. And not only do you have to buy the games on top of that, they cost the same amount as you would if you were buying them on console. So why the hell would you want to use Google Stadia? So the way that the Google are saying is like, but don't worry, you can stream it to like any screen. You know, you can stream it to like an iPad or a TV or whatever. And I'm like, so
who's streaming games to an iPad? Stop.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so what? Like, I don't need to stream it to any other screens. I either want it on my monitor or my TV. I don't need it on my Alexa. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it on anything else, right? So this subscription is, in my opinion, kind of worthless. And it's actually really interesting because in this article, this is an article from Metro. So take that with a pinch of salt. Are you okay?
Sorry, my housemate's in the hallway going, "We did.
We're dead."
Recording a podcast. Piss off.
Get him on the podcast. So not only that, I said on E3 there was stuff about Stadia at E3, and somebody asked me about like, oh, you know, are you interested in Stadia? Like, are you excited for it? And I was like, I could not give any less of a shit about Stadia. Like, I'm not touching it. I don't even want to touch it. Like, I don't care. Partly because I don't want any more goddamn subscriptions, but also because I'm like, well, I like buying games and playing the games and then having the games. I don't want to like be part of this like modern thing of where you pay for a subscription and then you have the games, but you don't really have the games. So a survey was done, and this survey, don't take it as gospel because it was a survey, but a survey was done in the UK, I believe France, Germany, and Spain. Yeah. So in the UK, France, Germany, and Spain, 70%, these are all gamers that were asked. 70%. Sorry? The sample size. I can find out for you.
You can put them on the spot.
Is it like 100 people? Because in which case I'm like,
it could be. Again, this is why I'm saying don't take it. You know, take it with a pinch of salt because it is just a survey. It's not like a, you know, it's not gospel. There's a lot of numbers here. It's a lot of numbers I can't see off the top of my head. But anyway, with this survey that was done, 70% of people that did the survey in the UK, France, Germany, and Spain say they have no interest in Google Stadia. 70%, which I think is kind of like
high.
Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of like it sounds about right.
High for like, just after E3, where you announced like the final announcement. Well, not final announcement, but like they finalized the announcement for the Stadia and stuff to have 70% of any amount of people. I mean, unless they went to like the local Tesco's and asked pensioners, in which case,
well, the article says they specifically asked gamers.
Yeah, if you've specifically asked your target demographic if they're interested in your product that is relatively new announcement, and you get a 70% of not interested at
No.
all, that is not good for your company.
It's not.
No.
It's not.
I mean, I fall firmly within that 70%. I'm really not interested in the
Same.
Stadia. I'm just like,
There's
I have a
nothing they could
PlayStation, I have
offer.
a PC, I'm done. Like, I'm
Well,
fine.
we already have to like you say, you've got a PlayStation. You kind of almost have to pay for PlayStation Plus at this point, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I've got to pay my internet bill if I want to play games on PC because every game's online now. So it's kind of like I'm already like I don't have the money for all of these subscription services. Like, why would like convince me if you want me to spend £8 a month on Google Stadia? Convince me, and not. I tell you one thing that's not going to convince me: letting me stream a game to my like iPad. I don't have an iPad anyway, but. I've
But that's
already
probably
said,
why they're not getting you with that one.
yeah, but I've already said though that like I don't want to stream games. I want to like actually play them from a disc or my hard drive. Like I don't want to stream them. Like I'm not interested because streaming games like I can't imagine. And people have said like, oh no, we've tested it. It's been great. I can't imagine that it's going to be as stable as reading from a disc or from your hard drive. Like what if you know like a signal drops for a second? Does the whole game just stop? You know, like, I mean, you watch Netflix, right? I mean, we all probably watch Netflix here, right? Like, how bad is it when you're watching Netflix and then all of a sudden it starts buffering? Now, that's not a dig at Netflix. That's usually my internet that makes it buffer, right? But what I'm saying is if you're in the middle of watching a show, right, and it starts buffering, and then you're like, great, I'm sat here now for like a minute while it unbuffers. So, whereas you're watching a DVD, that never happens, does it? So, and I know that we've kind of embraced streaming for video, but I feel like for gaming, it's entirely different. I feel like if I'm in the middle of a game, like what if I lose progress? You know, at least with Netflix, you just resume. It's fine. What if you're playing Sekiro, right? You're playing Sekiro on this streaming service, and you're just about to beat a boss, and blip, it drops, and you just that's it now. Progress gone.
Yes, it's
Like,
not ideal.
It's not ideal at all. So again, knowing that you paid full price for this Sekiro, and you're paying £8 a month to play this Sekiro, and then it's, in my opinion, I mean, again, I don't know. Maybe the technology is flawless, but I still believe that there's a risk there, right? So knowing that the overall experience is worse and it's not any cheaper, it's not a really good sell, is it?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously we have existing subscription services for like Microsoft and EA, but obviously the bonus of those is you download so the Microsoft one, you can literally, as long as you have the subscription service, you can play offline. It doesn't even, like, if you have the game installed and it can see that you have the subscription to whatever date, and you are within that date, you can download the game, you can switch your internet off, and you can play Zoo Tycoon, whatever. Which, like, that's fine. I understand, like, that's more of, to me, like a Netflix service for gaming, where you have a library of games that you can download. But streaming games, I don't trust, especially because, like, there must be people. This must be aimed at people with like T1 connections, where it's like flawless high-speed internet, which most of England
we do
not have.
Yeah, neither do Australia. You know,
yeah, Australian
even parts of America like don't
be able to use Stadia.
Yeah,
because Australian net is trash in like 99% of the country.
Apparently,
Well,
this is very contentious. This because I get told by Australians that their internet's really bad, and whenever I say, "Hey, Australians don't have great internet," there's always one Aussie who's like, "Oi, mate, what you talking about? Internet's great, you fucker." That's literally like the worst Australian
Do
accent
they
ever.
talk
But,
like
like,
that?
yeah. You just heard Cockney, but it's fine. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like, legit, like maybe not all of Australia has terrible internet, but I know for a fact there are parts of Australia that does have terrible internet because I have viewers in my stream that tell me how bad their internet is. So you're right. Like, this is going to be only if you already have a very stable internet connection. And then on top of that, like I said, you know, I mean, even if you do have a very good internet connection, you could always drop a little bit. I don't trust it. I don't want to stream games. Like, I want to own them and play them. And they're not giving me a compelling reason. Like, Google Stadia is not giving me a compelling reason. Even myself, somebody who literally works in the video game industry, they're not giving me a compelling reason to try it. And again, they're not even giving us any discounts or making it any cheaper. There's no reason to. So I feel like this 70% like sounds kind of accurate. Like, I feel like the 30% are just either they're like real bad techies that just want to try out the latest tech and they want to do that. Or, I mean, who would want this service? Who's like, yeah, that's my service.
Gamers that travel a hell of a lot.
But even then, though, if you travel, are
like
you gonna be using Google Stadia? Why not just take a Switch? Do you know what I mean?
But I more mean like, say you have, I don't know, friends who game and you go and visit them out of country a lot, so like that. So you can basically just go and you're like, okay, I'll log in.
Niche market.
Exactly.
30% of people.
It's a very highly niche market. No, I agree with you, Taylor.
You're saying who even wants it. I'm trying to come up with who wants it.
Well, my point was, I feel
huge
like this
market,
I feel like
that's
this
the point.
70% of people that just don't give a shit about it. It's it feels accurate to me. Like
It
I
seems
don't.
relatable. I
A
don't
lot
give
of
shit.
people, a
Like-
lot of people haven't been. I've not heard people talk about it. It's only a very few people that have actually talked about it. Like they want to try it. I think I know one person who wants to try it. So. Yeah, no, I don't think this is the future of gaming. I think a lot of companies really try and revolutionize gaming. I know Nintendo tried to do it with the Wii and it didn't really work. But a lot of companies keep trying to like revolutionize gaming, and it used to be VR is going to be the future. It wasn't. Like it's
motion
never gonna
controls.
change
They
it.
might come back,
Motion
guys.
controls, yeah. I mean, no, they're gimmicks. They're gimmicks, and this is a gimmick too. I think a lot of people might try it for a month and then go, yeah, nah, I don't want to. But yeah, that was it. That was Google Stadia. I don't honestly care about streaming. I don't want to stream like streaming games anyway. Like I live stream. That's a different kind of streaming. I just don't care about like streaming my games to my devices. I want to play them normally. And yeah.
I mean,
that's it.
on actual like on the more like actual subscription services, like where do you stand on that? Because like the EA one, the Microsoft one,
I hate that
Bethesda,
there's so
I think,
many of
bringing
them.
one.
I hate that there's so many of them. It's going to get to a point of where we're getting priced out of video games because you can't, like, who can subscribe to all of them? So what happens then? Do you pick and choose? Do you go, well, I'm only going to subscribe to Bethesda then, so I guess I only play Bethesda games? I mean, why would you? I mean, why would you at the moment? Don't subscribe to
I
Bethesda
love
right
finding
now.
bugs in games, and Bethesda games make it very easy.
I like playing games in early access that never leave early access, even though they're sold as full price retail products. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't like him, and I said this before. I said this while we were watching E3. I said, God damn it, no more subscriptions. I'm sick of them. I personally don't even mind all the different platforms. Like some people go, oh, why do we have to have another launcher for Origin and one for Uplay? I don't mind that. Like I don't mind having multiple launchers. Does not bother me. But what does bother me is having to pay more and more money for the same thing that we've always had. For my entire life, I've been able to go and buy a game and play it. And now it's starting to get to a point where it's like, no, you've actually got to pay per month to play this game. And it's going that way. I feel like it's going that way. I feel like it's going to get to a point where it's like, hey, because this is what's going to happen. Like, you mark my words. Somebody, like, write this down, right? What's going to happen is, and Ubisoft will do this, because I know for a fact they will. Ubisoft will be like, hey, the game's coming out on the 1st of March. But if you get it on our subscription service, you get it 10 days early. So everybody's going to run out and get the subscription service so they can get it 10 days early because gamers are impatient. We are. It's true. So I can see it being that way. We know that EA and Ubisoft and these big AAA companies, especially EA and Ubisoft, are very much already like, hey, if you buy it on Origin, you can get it 2 days early. They're already starting to do this shit. So if they think that they can get away with making people pay $5.99, $6.99, whatever a month to get the game a little bit earlier, of course they're going to do it. Of course they're going to do it. Like, why would they not? They love money. They love money and they hate you. So it's like, well, it's a win-win situation. It's like they get to screw you over and take your money. Like, perfect, right?
I think there's a place for them, but I mean, my fuss is getting to the point where, like, so when Netflix first came out, it was great because you went to Netflix and you paid a tenner a month, and it was like, excellent. Now you have access to basically the only subscription-based TV service. And now there's like Hulu and the HBO one and this one and that one and whatever. Yeah. And it's got to a point where if you want to access all TV, because basically subscription services started going like, actually, I own this company, so I'm not going to let it go onto that. If you want to watch everything, you have to subscribe to 20 million of them.
We've seen this crap already start to kill TV shows. We've all the look at all the Netflix Marvel shows, which I loved all of them. I think they're all great. Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Johnny Cage. No, that's Mortal Kombat. Luke Cage. All of those. Like all of those have all been cancelled. And the theory
I didn't think they were very good.
Well, that's a subjective opinion.
A lot of them were pretty.
A lot of the like second seasons were a bit like. Meh.
Like I'll watch pretty much like anything, and I found them hard to watch.
That's fine.
Maybe
I mean, not everyone.
But like,
has to
if you're
love
wondering why
just...
they're getting canceled.
Wow. No, that's not why they're getting cancelled, though. We know why it's getting cancelled. The reason it's getting cancelled is because Disney bring out their own subscription service. Now, a lot of people thought what that meant was that Disney was going to carry them on their own. They're not. We know that. They're not going to carry them on, but it's a licensing thing. So it's probably that they were like, well, if you've got the license for a Daredevil TV show, we can't make our own Daredevil TV show. So maybe we might want to make a Daredevil TV show in the future. So we've already seen this stuff. I mean, I know you say that you don't like those shows, but they were very popular. Like, they were very popular shows. So a lot of people clearly did like them. In fact, the Daredevil, there was a huge petition to bring Daredevil back. It didn't work, but So yeah, we've already seen like shows get cancelled because there was 2 competing subscription services, and it's going to be exactly the same with games. It's going to happen. There's going to be a game that comes out exclusively to one of them. You know, like, hey, you can only buy this game, you can only play it if you're subscribed to Konami sub or whatever. So it's like, you know, this stuff's going to happen. We know we can't trust the video game industry. If they can screw you over and get away with it, they will. We know this because of loot boxes, right? So if they... I can see them. I know they're already sat around tables going like, oh, how can we do it? Like, how can we force them to subscribe? It's not like, how can we encourage them and how can we give them a great deal so they want to subscribe? It's like, how can
we make the subscription worth it?
Exactly. How can we make a good product and, you know, sell it that way? It's like, how can we trick them? Like, what? Just hire some psychologists and get them. We're going to get them all. We're going to get all the subscriptions. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not looking forward to it. We're going to call it the subpocalypse or something. I don't know. But it's honestly, every time I see like the video game industry starts to like go in the right direction, something new comes out and they all jump on it. All the AAA studios, they all jump on it and go, boom, that's how we're going to screw the video game industry over this year. And yeah, honestly, I'm sick to death of it. I just wish they went back to making good games and selling the games. And hey, you know, if you make a great game like The Witcher 3 and then you want to sell me an expansion or 2, maybe some skins or whatever, go for it. No one complains about that. But I just feel like these companies are so greedy that they will do anything and everything in their power to separate you and your wallet. And the problem with that is we're all getting poorer. I don't think any of us are getting any richer. So it's going to get to a point of where we get priced out of video games. And if anything will cause the collapse of the video game industry, it's this. It's corporate greed. That's what will cause it. It's what caused the collapse of the retail industry. It's what's going to cause the collapse of the video game industry too. But I hope we get another 20 years out of it before it happens. I hope. But yeah,
I'm waiting until I go so far into tech that I come out the other side into being really, really rich.
Yeah,
I think that's how it works. I'm going to find a depth of debt where it just resets everything.
Please, you gotta spend money to make money.
If you're listening to this, please don't take this advice. It's not
speculate to accumulate.
Yeah, but don't accumulate debt though. do the opposite. Stay debt free. Don't get a credit card.
I mean, there's only so far it can go, and then it ticks back over to like you have $1 million.
That's not true. That's not how life works.
I think that's how it works.
It's really not, though. When has that ever been the case?
In a few years, when I have $1 million, we'll see how it works.
Yeah, well, sure. In a few years, when you're not on the podcast anymore because you're in a ditch.
I'm podcasting from under a bridge.
You're literally a troll.
Have you been playing recently? I've been trying to find food in bins.
It's better than a video game. It's the IRL video game.
EA say that if I pay them extra, I can get into dumpsters.
locking off dumpsters as premium content. It's the DLC. Oh god, it's gonna happen one day. For all these people that just have no money because they spent it all on loot boxes and all of the debt, EA gonna come out with we've come out with a new subscription service. It's Gamblers Anonymous. Yay!
Just bank with us directly. Get your wages straight in.
I'm surprised none of these companies have opened a bank yet. Oh, you've just given them an idea now, Elliot. You tit.
Oh, if they do it, though, we've got evidence, and I can get some of that money. I'm going to be selling loot boxes, boys. I've made it to the big time. That's how I make my $1 million.
Could you imagine if, like EA made a bank? Could you imagine? They charge you to walk in. Oh god.
I mean, we only recently got to the point where like you don't get charged for like withdrawals at cash points in this country. Like I swear, like 10, 15 years ago, if you ever went to a cash point, you got charged for a withdrawal.
What's a cash point?
Like an ATM.
Oh, we get that.
I feel like
automatic telling machine.
They've been free my entire life. Like the only ones that are not free are like the ones that people have in their businesses that they make money off. Like
if you go to a bank, if you go to a bank that's not your bank, don't you have to pay money?
No.
Oh, we do. Like $3.
So you get like proper bank ones and none of them charge you. And then you get like sort of like third party ones that do. And some of them are disgusting. Like I went in, there was a nightclub when I was at uni that had one and it was like £6 just to take money out. But they knew that people were like, the nearest one was like all the way down the street. Students are lazy. They're all drunk. They were like, oh, it's fine. I'll just eat rice for a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a kebabby near me that does it. And they've got like the only cash point and like the section of street you have to walk for like 10 minutes otherwise. And like, obviously, you're drunk, you want a kebab. They only take cash. Funny that.
I know, yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, there's a cash machine on the front of the building, and it charges like £3. Like,
so what you're saying
is, paying to get my own money.
What you're saying is that there's quite a lot of similarities between dodgy kebab shops and EA. I like that. I like that comparison. EA are basically a dodgy kebab shop.
A kebab is basically a loot box because you don't really know what kind of meat's in there.
It's true. It's always a gamble. You might get meat or you might get something else.
Yeah.
No, I love how this podcast episode this week has just turned into us just ragging on the AAA video game industry, because I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to just rag on them all day. And
it was only so long until it happened.
So what is
Like,
something
we
in the
held back.
last... What's the something in the last like few weeks that's made you happy? What are you looking forward to?
not
Is this a
buying
challenging
all of
question
EA's
for you?
games. Not buying any of them. Yeah, that made me really happy. I was like, yeah, look at that money I saved not buying that shit.
This is like the interview question where you're like, what's your worst quality?
Oh yeah. I hate that question. Like,
What's your worst quality? I hate loot boxes.
what's your, like,
That's also my
that's a good
greatest
quality.
strength.
It depends if you're going for an interview with EA. Don't say that. But no, I don't know what in the video game industry. Like, what's made me happy in the last like few weeks.
Final Fantasy VII remake. Final Fantasy VII remake has
some
me
of the
so hyped.
some of the upcoming
Jedi
games for
Fallen
next
Order.
year have made me interested. But again, I have to always be very careful, because if I get too excited and then I buy the game and then I get disappointed and then I cry in the corner just surrounded by copies of Alien Colonial Marines, and then it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really think anything has made me super
Have you
happy.
seen? There was a picture ages ago where it was like a guy and his girlfriend watching E3, and she was getting too excited about something, so he made her hold the box of disappointment, and it's the No Man's Sky pre-order box, and it's like it's a photo of her on the sofa. She's like hugging it and just watching E3. It's like the funniest shit.
Goddamn No Man's Sky.
I
I
think this
didn't.
is...
Go on.
You didn't?
No, I was gonna say I didn't fall for it the first time. I fell for it the second time. It went on a 50% off, and everyone was like, "It's fixed now." And then I went and played it, and I was like, "Well, what was it before then? If this is it fixed, like."
I bought it on launch, and then I got a refund. And then when they did the whole like, "Oh, it's fixed," I bought it, and I was like, "This isn't fixed." So I went in for a refund, and Steam were like, "You've already refunded this game." Like, and then I bought it again, and I went, look at the comments. Everyone said it's fixed. It's not. Give me my money. And they were like, "Okay." And I was just like,
Did you get
take it back? Yeah. To be fair, Steam's return policy is really good.
Yeah, well, it's because it didn't have one for years. Like, it just didn't have one. You had to like email them and just ask, and they'd be like, maybe. What were we saying before this? That's what I was going to say. I had a segue from subscriptions into WoW, because WoW has done it again. World of Warcraft, they've done another mount deal. I just want to talk about it real quick, because talking of subscriptions and how it's bollocks. World of Warcraft have done another WoW. They've done this before. This is the second time they've done it. If you buy 6 months of game time, you get a free mount, and you can only get the mount for an amount of time by doing it this way. So yet again, Blizzard are like, hey, subscribe to our shit game for 6 months, even though you probably won't be playing in another 2 months.
The first one was like that big ship, and it was about 6 months ago. So they're just trying to catch those same people.
Yeah, legit.
Like,
they are.
What's a
you
mount?
this last time.
So
like,
you ride
basically
around on them,
ride
like horses, dragons, that kind of stuff. Makes you go faster. Some of them fly. But obviously, with the game being a giant open world, like a huge world, like it's really integral. In fact, one of the things I do
on mounts.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people collect them. I do as well. Like when I play WoW, when I do, I like to collect mounts because I like to get my favorite ones. There's one mount that I can't bloody get. It's called Invincible.
No one can get Invincible. It's a lie.
I've seen it once.
I'm telling you, it's
But yeah, so yeah, knowing that these mounts are highly sought after, and there's also achievements in World of Warcraft for having so many mounts as well, which is why I've said that, in my opinion, the World of Warcraft, because they sell some mounts on the store, is actually it's not pay to win, but it kind of is pay to win, because it's like
pay to achieve.
Yeah, pay to achieve, right? So if you like achievements, if you get some sort of sense of a achievement from those, then yeah, it's kind of pay to win. So they've done this before, and I think it's no coincidence that they've done it during BFA. And I got a lot of shit the first time I said this, right? I said they're literally just doing that because they're desperate and they know people are unsubbing, so they're bribing you with a mount so you remain subbed for 6 months, because they know if they didn't, you would unsub. And that's purely what it is. And if they are so confident that you're going to unsub, that shows how little confidence they have in their current WoW game, right? So they've done it again, and if you buy it, you're an idiot. I'm just pointing that out.
I mean, you're not an idiot, you're just gullible.
No, you're an idiot. You're an
Okay,
absolute
an
idiot if you buy it. Because
Sorry,
the mount
tried
will
to
come
help.
out. in,
Unless
like,
you want to play the game for 6 months and you're excited about
okay,
the
so
mount,
no. So
then-
I've had this argument already. A lot of people are like, well, I was going to be subscribed anyway for 6 months. So like the problem with that though is if you buy the whole 6 months in advance, you can't cancel it. You're locked in now. So if you played for a month and then was like, do you know what, I don't have the time, or if you get ill, or if you go, do you know what, I really hate BFA, like a lot of people have, you've now got 5 months of you've already paid for it. So you can't back out. You can't unpay.
I mean,
for it.
if you know you're going to play for 6 months, then it's worth doing it because
Who knows? They're
Or
gonna play
even
for
if
6
you
months.
don't know, but you decide at that point you're gonna pay for it, then you've paid for it.
That's what
you
I'm saying.
get
Why
you
would
get
you
like
pay,
a
though?
reduction in rate if you pay for 6 months and things
It's
like that.
not
but,
a
like,
lot though. It's not a lot.
It's
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
honest,
Like,
it really isn't a
why
lot.
would you though? Why would you lock yourself into that? It's like, again, this is my problem with
I have friends who
subscription
play it, and
models.
they are fully aware that they will not be quitting anytime soon.
But this is my problem with subscription models though, is that if you're getting the same thing that you could get without being subscribed, why would you subscribe? Like, why would you pay in advance for something that?
Because you get something to ride on.
Yeah, but that's what
true.
I'm saying. That this is why I have a problem with it, because most people that are doing it purely to get the mount. And so if they're not playing that game in 3 months, I mean, you're not even riding around on the mount anymore because you're not playing the game. So this is why I have a bit of an issue with subscription models, because I feel like any subscription should be able to be cancelled at any time. Because if you decide 1 month, hey, I can't afford it this month, or I don't want this subscription anymore, it should be very easy. And in fact, in the UK, subscription models are kind of under scrutiny at the moment because a lot of them have been, in the past, very difficult to cancel, where you'd have to phone a dodgy hotline and it was only in certain hours of the day and people would, it was very difficult to cancel. Whereas now it's a legal thing. It has to be very easy to cancel. They can't make it difficult for you. on
Avoid
purpose.
you.
So, yeah, exactly.
And you have a 14-day cooling off period. So if you sign any form of contract or subscription within 14 days, you can cancel it, and they're not allowed to charge you.
Yep, 100%. So
I mean, to be fair, the British government, I give them stick a lot because I'm just like, yeah, anti-government, why not? But like, to be fair, the British government compared to a lot of other governments are actually like pretty user friendly.
They're hit and miss. Like, they do a lot of good, and then
They
do
are
a lot
hit
of
and
bad
miss,
as
but,
well. Like they do a lot of really stupid decisions. I'm not getting into British politics, please don't. But yeah, so
No, let's not do that.
my whole point is that I feel like subscriptions they don't benefit you. They only benefit the company, and especially if you're not getting anything out of that subscription. If you're getting a really good deal out of that subscription, sure. But if you're not, just think about it. And a lot of people, we said this earlier, a lot of people subscribe to things, they forget 6 months down the line or a year down the line, and you just lost a bunch of money that you could have saved and bought, I don't know, avocados or whatever people like to buy with their money. Millennials like avocados, right? I like
Are we
avocados.
aiming for the millennial crowd now?
Suppose, why not? I mean, pretty much everyone's a millennial that watches the podcast.
Millennials.
So,
Are you a millennial? How old do you
Who
have to be when you're a millennial?
Technically, I think they moved it. It's now like 1988 or something.
I think
It's
you
not
had
millennials.
to turn 18 after 2000. I think that means
After
you're millennial.
2000?
Yeah.
Wait, millennial birth years. Millennials 1981 to 1966.
1966.
1996, sorry.
I was gonna say 60s.
Okay.
Like, I'm a millennial too. I can't afford houses or healthcare. Yeah. No, like,
I didn't ruin the economy.
God damn it. But yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of subscription models. I think this is
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
the
we're
next
talking
big
about
thing.
games.
We're talking about video games. That happens sometimes.
It's
But
because
no,
we haven't hung out the three of us in a while. This is
It is.
Hashtag
This is just
move.
turning into let's just hang out and chat shit. For those of you who don't know, this is pretty much what we do when we're not on the podcast. We just hang around and chat shit.
This is exactly
time.
what we do when
Like,
we're not
all
on
the
the
time.
podcast.
Probably a little bit like less sort of PC, not PC, but like maybe a little bit less filtered, maybe. But we
Family friendly.
Yeah, a bit less family friendly. But we talk
That's
a lot.
why I
of crap.
never say fuck on the podcast.
Great, demonetized now. Thanks, you dick. But yeah, that was it. Like, there's been not a lot of news this week, apart from I know we're a little bit late with the whole EA news, but we only did podcast once a week, and it didn't happen last week, so we're a bit late on that one. But I had a good laugh at it. Subscriptions are going to be the next big demonic thing. Well, either that or they're going to find another way to screw us out of money, and I really don't want to know what that is. But just make good games and sell them. Can we go back to that? Can we just make good games and sell them? Is that okay? Like, if I had the money, I would legit open a game studio and be like, do you know what? We're just going to make good games and sell them. No bullshit.
Would you be able to make a good game?
I wouldn't make it. I'd get developers to make it. I'm not making it.
Nice.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like I would open a studio and be like, I'd be like the studio that was like, we'll never do loot boxes. We'll never do any of that.
I still have this argument so many times. Like, good games have come out in the last couple of years.
No,
there
they
has
have.
been good games.
They have.
There's just,
I
they are
agree.
few and far between.
And most of them are not coming from AAA, and most of them are not coming out of America either. We said this before. The majority, for me, in the majority of good games, Japan. Honestly,
Japan are carrying everyone. In
Yeah,
games,
100%.
Japan have been doing that for a long time.
No, I disagree.
Not,
I think
so much carrying everyone, but like
I think
Japan have always been the
America, like at one point, were like the kings. Like, come on, the Halo like era. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there was so many like amazing
You were just like
games.
a massive Halo fan. Like for a lot of people, Halo, they were just like, oh, it's just another first.
Yeah, but what Call of Duty? Call of Duty dominated multiplayer gaming for forever, and you know that was American studios. That's what I'm saying. That it's not just Halo. There was lots of American studios making fantastic games. In fact, I do believe that the AAA video game industry at one point were like the kings. They were the ones that were making the fantastic games. They were pushing the industry forward. And now it seems,
did for a while.
Yeah, and now it seems like they can't even make good games between them. Like put Bethesda and Blizzard in a room and see what they come up with. It would. Do you know what I mean? So
Bethesda and Blizzard versus 10,000 monkeys with typewriters. See who comes up with a
the monkeys with typewriters would probably make a better game, honestly. Like on a typewriter. It would come out on typewriters. You have to buy a typewriter for it.
And like C+. They would have programmed it.
They probably would, honestly. Like we talk about this all the time, and I know that a lot of the developers just want to make good games. We've talked about this before. A lot of the developers who are very skilled, very talented, you know, they want to love this industry, and a lot of developers are just as frustrated as we are because they're working for these shitty companies too, and these shitty companies don't look after their staff as much. They look after their staff the same level as look after their customers, which is not a lot. So, you know, like when we just for anybody who's listening to this podcast and thinking like, oh, like you're being a bit harsh, like, well, we need to be harsh against the companies. It's the companies we're being harsh against, not the individual developers, not the community managers, not the people being paid minimum wage to test games. We're talking about like the company, the people that are literally, you know, taking $15 million bonuses every year or whatever. You know, those kind of people are the people that we're like kind of pushing back against. And to be fair, we should, because those are the ones that are making the bad decisions.
Yeah, and banks very much on par with each other.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Just top guys taking giant bonuses whilst everything else goes to shit.
That's true in every industry. Like I said, that happened in retail. It was the same thing. And these companies will throw anybody under the bus to make a few quid. So anyway, we're coming up
ending on a positive note.
And should we end on a positive note? What can we say positive? What's positive this week?
I want to play Final Fantasy VII so bad.
Me too, also, honestly. I'm really
Eris's model looks amazing. I'm just going to keep going about Final Fantasy VII.
I mean,
Two Point Hospital's on sale for $20, and I might get it.
It's okay. It's an okay game. Have you played Theme Hospital?
I like okay games.
Wow, that should be on your stream. I like okay games. No. But have you played Theme Hospital?
Have I played Theme Hospital?
Yeah.
No.
It's like
you'll probably like it then.
To that.
Yeah, it's like Theme Hospital with better graphics, but not quite as.
I watched like a girl on YouTube who plays like the same kind of games as me play it for a bit, and I was like, I think I like this.
No, it's fun. The only reason why I say it's okay was because it's basically the same game that I've already played, but like it didn't advance the genre on at all. Like it didn't add anything new to it. But if you've not played the original, then you've got no benchmark for it, so you probably will enjoy it a fair bit because it's not a bad game. It's not bad.
It's a cutesy management game. I think it's definitely right up.
It will probably last you about 10 hours or so.
Okay.
I don't see like I play Theme Hospital and I have it on Origin, so like I'm not that fussed by it, but like it's definitely a game that I would love to watch you play. Like because I think it's really up your street, and also I think like it's an enjoyable game to watch. I just don't think I want to play it.
Right.
Again, I did play it and I didn't hate it. I just was like, well, what have you added new? Like, there's nothing added new. It's just.
So I'll probably be doing that this week and Planet Coaster.
Nice. Okay. I want to see you watch. I want to see you play Planet Coaster as well.
So
I like Planet Coaster.
I played maybe like 10 hours.
I think Planet Coaster is a better game than 2 Point Hospital.
So you're a veteran now.
Well, no. I screwed up the first time and like completely went into debt, and then I was like, "Fuck this," and I started over.
That's how you learn.
There's a level though, right? I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a level if you're doing like like the missions or whatever you call them in Planet Coaster. There's a level that's like it seems super difficult, but it's really not. There's like just one trick, and I had no idea, and somebody told me, and I was like, "You can do that?"
Okay.
And they were like, "Yeah."
I'm gonna start over, and we'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Can you
I
do
would
the
watch that
thing
as well.
where you fire a roller coaster, like you fire it into the neighboring park? Because there's like an old roller coaster, like theme park game where basically you have to like get a better score than the park next to you. And what you can do is you can make a roller coaster that just pings people into the next part.
Just
And then the
destroys
deaths.
their park.
Well, no, so the people die when they crash to the ground, but because the deaths are in that park, not your park, it lowers their rating.
What game is this?
Oh my god!
I literally,
I feel like I
can't. It
need
was
to
one of like
know.
the old. It was like post theme park world, but before like.
What, there was
Planet
another
Coaster
one
and
that
stuff.
wasn't theme park, but it was
Roller
basically
Coaster
the same.
Tycoon.
Yeah, Roller
maybe?
Coaster Tycoon.
I
that was a
have
good
that
one.
game too.
It might have been in that one that you did it, but yeah, I was reading a post about it and I was just like, that is amazing. Like, I'm a big fan.
Fair. Well, it's kind of a nice segue into what we're doing this week. What's coming up on our channels? Elliot, what have you got coming up on your channel, dude? What are you streaming?
I'm going to be carrying on with Sekiro Monday and Wednesday, and then Friday is Finish It Friday. I started Transistor this week.
Yeah, I was there this morning. You were playing Transistor.
I really like Bastion, which is by the same creators. It's by Supergiant Games. The combat in Bastion is like super high pace, and like a lot of the guns do slightly different things, but generally is like move around, shoot at stuff. Transistor is very different to that, and I am struggling to get the hang of the combat. I'm just about getting used to the builds.
It's a bit more complicated, yeah.
So like you have like almost programming modules as your skills, but you can like put them together in weird ways. So you can have anything can just be a usable skill, or you can make them into passives, or you can put them onto another usable skill to basically like augment it.
Yeah.
And
I really like the
just about got the hang of that. So the combat is coming slowly around, but I'm not good at it yet. And I think
you
I'm
absolutely can make a really bad build in that game though, because I did it. I like screwed myself so badly. I had to go and like respec.
But the respec is really easy to do. You just go to like one of those panels and you can completely rip everything out and put it back without any cost. So I'm fine with it. But yeah, I'm slowly getting the hang of the combat. I die a lot. But when you die, you just lose access to a skill for a bit. So it's not the end of the world.
I just personally preferred the theme of Transistor to Bastion. I like the like world and the story a bit more, but that was...
I really like the world in Bastion. The world in Transistor is really cool. The story is really weird. You start off pulling a sword out of a dude, and then basically the reason that all happened kind of gets shown to you as you go along. But yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I think I've probably got one more stream to do with it. I did have a quick check, and it says
it's not a very long game. Yeah.
I'm thinking of trying something out a bit differently. If I finish that game next week, I might go on to the Shadow of War games, like the Mordor ones.
Oh yeah.
Because I really enjoyed the first one. I've got the second one since then, so I might do the first one again quickly and then do a bit more in depth of the second.
Yeah.
Just because they're really good games, and I think it's a bit of a change of speed for me. Because I did Doom, which was very run and gun. Then I did Little Nightmares, which was more of like a one shot. Now I'm doing Transistor, which is a bit like top downy. And I'm missing my actiony run round murder things. So
which
I might play
the
that
first game very much was that. I really enjoyed the first one. I didn't play the second one, but the first one was very much just go around.
I've heard the second one's a lot more like army building tactically.
Well, there was problems on launch. There was a lot of monetization issues, which apparently they did fix in the long run. But yeah, there was a lot of problems.
I've heard that the monetization got taken out, but
yeah, it did because there were a lot of people kicked off, and that's why I didn't buy it in the first place, and I've never got around to it, to be honest. So
I picked up on a sale at some point, so I was like, eh.
It's probably on sale now, and the Steam's on sale. So where can people find you if they want to come and check out all of this amazing gameplay you've got coming up?
Twitch.tv/BlindsideUK. Also, if you follow me on Twitter at blindside_UK, you can get all the updates on my Twitch when I upload stuff on YouTube, which I do every now and then. I haven't uploaded in a few weeks because I haven't really had anything to upload. But I am working on the YouTube. But yeah, I'll update everything on Twitter. I'm pretty active on Twitter as well recently. Mostly because for my job, I take buses back and forth, and that's when I really catch up and get involved in stuff. So yeah, follow me on Twitter at blindside_UK.
I couldn't think of anything more stressful. Twitter on a bus.
I like Twitter, but I've spent a lot of time making sure that I'm following people who are positive and make me a better person by following them. I
don't like Twitter. But Taylor, so you said you're going to be playing some Planet Coaster. Are you going to stream that? Are you going to stream it on your channel?
Yeah. So I'll be at twitch.tv/Atarkic, spelled underneath me. Yeah, that's about it. I have an Instagram account, same username. Catch you there.
Possible to spell username, but sure.
I'm not switching it. At this point, it's
Are you sold now? You're keeping it forever?
Oh, a while back you were talking about switching.
Yeah, you were talking about switching.
I know, because I'm like super indecisive, and at this point, like it's been months. Like, so
I'd streamed longer than you when I changed my name though. Like it was hard, but I did it, and I'm glad I did. Like I much prefer my new name to my old one.
Yeah,
if
your
anyone
new name is a
has
lot better
any
than your
ideas
one.
for me, I'm open to suggestions.
I considered changing mine, but I realised I just really don't want to. I like my username. But
It always
I wish
makes
I-
me think of Sandra
I wish I
Bullock.
could get rid of the UK, but yeah, that honestly, that's the only thing that drives me to not like my name. It's because everyone's like, "Oh, like the movie," and I'm like, "No," but kind of.
No, but
Okay.
kind of.
Well, the movie gets its name from an American football position, which is the position I played, which is also kind of to do with why my name's in my name.
Mm-hmm.
We did an
We've had the
episode on
story.
why our names.
I was going to say, go back and watch the
We'll get through it again.
other episodes.
Yeah,
We did a special. We
So
talked
what are
about
you
our
playing
names.
this
My
week,
name is
Grumpy?
a very long story.
It is a very long story, and we're coming to the end of the
Grumps,
show.
what have you been playing?
We're not talking about what I've been playing. It's what I will be playing, and I don't know. I don't actually know. I've just started a new job. Yeah, I've just started a new job, and it's full time. So at the moment, like I'm kind of just sort of streaming what I can. I'll still be doing Scary Game Thursday next week, so some form of Scary Game. We did buy Distraint, so I might start that because one of my regular viewers, who should watch this podcast, has been asking me to play it for like months. I was like 6 months, so I think I might just start Distraint next week.
Aw.
Apart from that, I really don't know what games I'm gonna play. I don't know. I'll have to think
We'll
about
see.
it. We'll
We'll have to
see.
catch you.
You'll have to join my Discord and I'll tell you in there, or follow me on Twitter. But you can find me at twitch.tv/TheGrumpyBrit. I stream on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at the moment when I can, because like I say, new job is full time and it's retail, so it's hours all over the place. So I'm trying to keep that schedule as solid as possible, but some days we're just gonna have to swap days. But just go and follow me on Twitch and then you'll get notified. But that's it. That's been this week's podcast. Thank you so much for joining. If you have enjoyed, leave it a like, comment, let me know what your favorite food is.
Tell me your favorite loot box in
Just
the comments below.
comment on the video, because that helps the algorithm, and that's what you got to do apparently these days. And we're supposed to do it at the beginning of the video, but I forget every week. But just leave a comment, like the video.
Are we not even like hiding it anymore? Just like help us with the algorithm.
Just I need money, okay? I'm like
we want to know people are watching.
Tweet this video out.
that,
show it to
that
your
also.
friends.
I mean, I know people are watching because I can see the
Because-
analytics, but like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for Elliott and I, we just want to know people are watching and
But just
hanging
let us
out
know
with
that we
us.
enjoy it, because it's hard to get feedback from the podcast, because we're here. You're not here right now. You know, this is in the past, so you're not here. You're in the future. I'm in the past. So
Why?
Elliott, just close your
I
ears.
can't. At this
So-
now, goodbye, everybody.
We got all the way through an episode without
Where-
time travel.
I'm not time
Like-
traveling. I'm leaping.
I hope you know that my mission is just to sneak it in every episode. Like
I can't.
every single one. Just
Of
every
all
one.
the running jokes in the world, why
It's
do
just
you have
fine.
time
We're gonna
travel
get
stuff?
a Doctor Who t-shirt or something. It's gonna happen, like, mark my words.
Today's
Anyway,
Friday. We record on Fridays.
Anyway,
it's done. The line's
Anyway,
over.
if you have enjoyed the podcast, please let us know. Put it in the comments, leave a like, tell your friends, tell your mum, and we'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.